Hey guys, it's Scott with Scottie B Cards, and in this video I want to discuss the news that we just had out of the Topps Industry Conference. The Topps Industry Conference is happening, and Topps has released a bunch of information on the plans of the future of the sports card, particularly the baseball card hobby. Right now, Topps was purchased by Fanatics. They own now all Panini, all of Topps. They essentially have a monopoly over all the sports cards outside of like Upper Deck. Upper Deck is still doing hockey. But overall, baseball, basketball, football is all owned by Fanatics. And Fanatics is coming in and trying to make some changes to make the sports card world better. And some of the changes they announced are, one, good. Some of them are okay. And some of them are just plain bad. And I want to discuss all three of these, the news that we're actually having, and I want to give my thoughts particularly on the bad stuff and why I think it's not good for you and I as collectors. So the first thing I want to say, I actually got all this information from Sports Card Investor from their Twitter account. They posted what actually happened at the conference. I wasn't there, but they were and posted some of these changes. This is all from them and through Topps at the industry conference. So let's just dive into the first thing, the first good thing I would say. So their actual CEO said, "We are laser focused on the collector experience, and a redemption is a poor collector experience. We are doing everything we can to reduce and hopefully eventually eliminate redemptions." So we're going to be seeing redemptions not being in product nearly as much, which there's no downside to that, because if you pull a redemption, it's not as exciting. And on top of that, you never know if you're actually going to get fulfilled. You don't know if you'll actually receive the card they say on the redemption, because they can replace it for equal or lesser value. And on top of that, it could take years to receive the redemption, and it's just very confusing. And if you buy an older product, those redemptions are probably expired. So redemptions aren't great, and so Topps saying they're going to get rid of that, kudos. That's fantastic. So that's the best news from the day. The next news I thought was interesting, and I've been calling for this for a long time, is to eliminate the unnecessary brands that they produce. They actually release 70-ish sets every single year, and in these sets, there's just some sets that never really have any value because there's just so many in general, like we've already discussed. And so Topps is announcing they're getting rid of a lot of their sets and really solidifying their product line, and they announced some of the products they're getting rid of, and I'm surprised they're getting rid of some of these products. The first one they're getting rid of is Clearly Authentic, which is a clear acetate card in a box. You only get one card. It's encased for you. Not a big deal. Bowman Chrome X, Gold Label, which is a product from the 90s. Opening Day, which is a really fan favorite for usually kids. On top of that, we have First Edition being eliminated, Topps Fire, and Topps Gallery. Topps Gallery is another set just like Gold Label that was around since the 90s or early 2000s. And to see those two eliminated surprised me. A lot of the things that is surprising about this list, and while I understand why they're getting rid of these, they probably don't make a lot of money for Topps, but these are usually the entry collector products. So Topps Fire and Gallery are retail exclusives, and they're usually for kids to open cards, and I get why they're getting rid of them, but that's not great. On top of that, Opening Day is basically designed for kids. You know, you get a big hobby box for $35, and you have a decent chance to pull something cool, and kids love that. But those are all now gone. I hope they're getting rid of more of the unnecessary Chrome products. I'm not saying these are bad products, but there's like Topps Chrome Ben Baller, Topps Chrome Sonic, different configurations of Topps Chrome that aren't necessary. All these things should be considered. I would love if they got down to 20 to 30 sets versus 70. And I know that's not great in a lot of collectors' eyes, but I think the things that make the more sense is good for the hobby. And right now it's confusing, so good for them for doing this. But I think some of their choices are very interesting because some of them are legacy products or fan favorites or for kids. But let me know in the comments below if you're glad they're getting rid of these sets or if you wish it was different sets. Okay, let's talk about the truly puzzling thing they did that just stopped me and made me think, what are they doing? Firstly, I want to say I'm a big fan of Topps. I literally wear Topps merchandise and I wear them and give them free advertising. I talk about Topps. I think about Topps more than anything else, but that's not my wife. And it's one of those things where I live, breathe, sleep baseball cards, and I love Topps. I want to say it out of the gate, but I think Topps needs to be held accountable and have our actual thoughts shared. And they did one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. They announced seriously one of the dumbest things I think I've ever heard for a baseball card product. And I've always said we're devaluing the one-of-ones by creating so many more one-of-ones. So what does Topps do? They introduce something called a FrozenFractor. A FrozenFractor is numbered 0 out of 0. 0 of them exist, but there's one. So what is that called? A one of one. And on top of that, they have a -1 out of 0, a -2 out of 0, a -3 out of 0, a -4 out of 0, and a -5 out of 0. These will have a frozen ice design. And I can guarantee you, if they're even remotely successful and make more product purchased, we're going to see -10 out of 0, -100 out of 0. This isn't going to go away. And so we're basically going the other direction with more parallels and having a false sense of scarcity. Granted, already having one of ones is a manufactured scarcity, but this is just, to me, one of the silliest, corniest ideas I've ever heard. I told a non-sports card person this, and they said it sounds like an April Fool's Day joke. Like, it literally sounds like an April Fool's Day. Like, hey, we're making negative cards. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And so instead of having less one of ones, we have significantly more one of ones, but we're also devaluing other low numbered parallels. So for me, I don't like FrozenFractors. Yes, they're cool. It'll be cool to pull one, but at the same time, why? Why is this what we're focusing on? We should just focus on, first of all, the quality of the cards are horrible this year. They're completely damaged all the time because we're printing so much. We don't want negative numbered cards. As I personally don't. You might. It's just one of those tough situations. So that's some of the news. That's the biggest negative in my eyes, and I don't know why they're doing it. Let me in the comments below if you actually like that. I don't, but if you like it, let me know why you like it. Maybe you can change my mind. On top of that, they also announced a few other things that I'll hit on. The first one is in Bowman Chrome draft. Tom Brady will have his first Bowman Chrome, and that's because he was drafted by the Expos back before he played in the NFL, and so he'll have autographs and first Bowman cards in that set itself, which is pretty cool. And he'll have autographs in that set, which will be huge chases, I'm assuming. We've seen this done with Russell Wilson because he was drafted by the Colorado Rockies. Go Rockies, you're awesome. And we've seen that with his cards, but now Tom Brady is a new one. And on top of that, they're releasing first Bowman retrofractors for players like Babe Ruth and others who don't have a first Bowman to now have a first Bowman. So that's the biggest news of the day. I don't love the FrozenFractors, if you can't tell. We'll see if Topps actually does it, if they have any negative feedback from their audience. It just makes, like, did they even ask their audience what we thought of that? Like, did they do some sort of product research to see if we wanted that? Because I would have said no, but maybe I'm not the target audience. Maybe they're trying to expand and just get people excited. Maybe I'm just an old man, even though I'm 28 years old. It just seems kind of corny to me. But other than that, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you agree, disagree with everything I said, and I will see you in the next video.